Good afternoon, everybody. This is my friend Robert Twine, all the way from Pennsylvania in the
Hi
US.
there.
Robert is a life coach and is focused on creating fulfilling relationships. The timing for this conversation is so perfect because we are in the month of love, and I want to ask you a few questions if that's okay.
Sure, that's perfect. Thank you.
Okay. So, why? What do you do? Firstly, introduce yourself. What do you do with regards to life coaching and things like that?
Well, first, I want to say thank you so much for inviting me here. It's a pleasure and an honor, and I really appreciate it. I love everything. Um, I love the path that you're on, and everything that I see come from you. I think that's really the things that you share are beautiful and very inspiring, and I appreciate that. And I think that we need more people like that in the world. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Robert.
Um,
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. I love to acknowledge, that in people. And well, what I do is, as a dating and relationship coach, I help people get in touch with their internal resources that sometimes we forget that we have, or we never were. They were never cultivated by our early relationships. So I help people get in touch with that part of themselves, and so they can share that with the people in their lives. And I know people want me to say, how do you help me to fix my partner, or how do you help me fix the person I'm in relationship with? Because 9 times out of 10, whenever we're having troubles in a relationship, we always think it's the other person. You know, can't be me. It has to be the other person. And
Yes.
so I like to, when I talk to people, I like to say, I help you to help other people. I help people to help themselves so they can help the other people, and maybe you can't fix the people in your relationship necessarily, but we can grow ourselves to a place, and we can become aware to a place inside of ourselves that we can share that peace with the people around us, and we can share that energy with the people around us, find out what gives us peace and energy, and then share it with the people in our lives, instead of expecting that energy and peace to come from the people without. We find how to teach people how to find that within themselves, and then come together and share that with one another. So that's what I do. I help people get in touch with their resources, and then I help them find fun and exciting ways to share that with their loved ones.
Awesome. And why is this important to you?
Well, because over the years I've struggled with my own relationships and finding that and blaming people for where I was in my life, and always being like, well, if you just did this, then things would be better. And so it came from a place of failure, which I think failure is a great thing. If you plan to fail, they say there's a couple sayings, but I like the idea of getting comfortable with failure, because I think when we think we're going to fail, we don't try. So, I always encourage people around me to go try, at least go try, because then you'll know for sure. Real intelligence is trying and failing and knowing what the real answer is, because you can tell me what the answer is, but if I don't actually try it for myself to see if that works for me, I never really know. So, I share with people, get comfortable with failure. And because if you enjoy failure, even if you don't fail, then you failed at not failing, so you always succeed. If that makes sense. Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
And I think the important thing with failure is never to give up. You may fail in doing something one way, but it doesn't mean you're going to fail the next time. And I think people fail to succeed when they quit so close to reaching their goals. We are breaking up a bit.
Try that. Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes. I can hear you now.
Okay, good. Yeah, I had to turn off my video. Maybe that'll help.
Okay. Where will be? Okay. Yes, about not giving up. If you try a certain way and it doesn't work, there's always other ways to try as well.
Exactly. I love that. Can you hear me okay now?
I can hear you
Oh,
perfectly, yes.
excellent, excellent.
So, if you were to give the couples three important tips for healthy relationship, what would those be?
Well, the first tip I would say is self-care is so important. Um, and not having a self-care routine that doesn't that's so selfish that we're not having time to share with our loved one, with our partners. Um, but self-care is one of the most important things. Is we just have to take care of ourselves first. So we have to find something that we enjoy,
Mm-hmm.
even if it's just for 5 minutes a day. Even if some
Okay.
people are really, start small. That's
Yeah.
another tip: is start small with whatever you're going to do. Start small. Don't try to compliments and telling your loved ones, your partner, um, what the nice things about them, what you enjoy. Don't start out with saying, I'm going to say 10 compliments to my partner today. Just one. Just start with one compliment. Just start with 5 minutes of self-care. Um, you know, if you like to walk, go take a walk for 5 minutes. If you find breathing exercises are powerful for you, then do 5 minutes of that. Whatever we do, just start small. And the next tip I would say is definitely find out what you can do that your partner enjoys, and then try to do that. If it's saying nice things to them, giving them words of affirmation, that's a beautiful thing. If it's time, quality time, put your phone down, put your electronic device down, and sit with them, even if it's just for 5 minutes, and give them undivided attention. If your loved one loves acts of service, if they love you to finish up the laundry, or they say, honey, I just wish you'd vacuum. Honey, I just wish you'd clean the table up. Just give them 5 minutes, clean the dishes for 5 minutes. You can do anything for 5 minutes. And the third thing I would definitely tip is have fun. Whatever you're doing, have fun. Don't be too serious. We take life way too seriously, and that can really complicate things. And I just tell people, just have fun. Find a fun way, something fun that you can do with your partner just for 5 minutes. We can do anything for 5 minutes, and that's where it all starts. It starts with that 5 minutes a day. Just do one thing great for 5 minutes a day, and it'll change your life. It'll change your relationship if you just take 5 minutes. That's it. That's all you need.
That's absolutely great advice, and it's so important, especially the part about having fun. We get so caught up in living separate lives, especially if two people have different careers, that making that time for each other is so important indeed.
Yes, it is. And I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to try to turn my video on and see what happens here.
Okay,
So
okay,
maybe, hopefully the connection will be good.
there we go, there we go. Great to have you
Yeah.
back. Okay, so what have you learned about yourself in your process?
Oh wow, so much, so much. Well, I've learned that I really have a strong need for contribution in my life. I love to contribute, and for a while I contributed to everybody else and not to my family and to my wife.
Mm.
And it really took away from my relationship because I didn't know how to find fulfillment at home. I felt like the only place that I knew how to do that was outside of the house, and I felt really fulfilled giving in my community and to my friends, but I didn't know how to give at home, and it was a struggle. And I felt like things were falling apart, and it just came to a place where I realized, it all starts with the home. It all starts with our people who are closest to us. And I realized that I had my service structure was upside down. I was going out to try to help everybody else when I wasn't helping my family. And my wife was saying, you're always helping everybody else and you don't ever help us. And I was like, what? I thought I was really blind to that. And but it's helped me to see that that's where it all starts at home. It starts with, I think Mother Teresa said, if you want to change the world, go home and love your family.
Mm,
And I think
correct.
that's a really powerful and true statement. That is, if we want to change the world, we have to learn how to change the people with not the change the people closest to us, but change how we interact with the people closest to us.
Absolutely on point. And if there was advice that you could give your younger self, what would that be?
I'd tell my younger self, just, you're all good. You don't need to be anything other than what you are. You're beautiful just the way you are, and that's something that I've learned through my process also, is that my true strength is in being myself, and I can be myself without any outside stimulation. I don't need anything outside of myself to be who I am. I
Absolutely.
am, I'm like Popeye. I am what I am, I just have to be that. So I don't know if you all have the Popeye the Sailor Man over there. I've seen that cartoon, but that's one of his lines is, I am what I am. And I just,
Yes,
it's just
that is
being,
what I is.
learning.
I
Yeah.
is what I is.
I is what I is. Exactly. That's exactly right.
Okay. And if what can do you offer any programs? I know you've got a page going, a group um, that you focus on, which is focused on creating fulfilling relationships. What is the name of your
Yes.
group, and how can people get in contact with you?
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, I have. You can look me up, Robert Twine, at Facebook on my personal page and send me a message. I also have Creating Fulfilling Relationships is a Facebook group that I started to help people, help inspire people, and give them tools and resources to um, be strong in their relationships. Just learn whatever it is that they can learn, and be inspired to share with their families and their friends and their loved ones and their partners. And then you can go to through that. You can message me on any of those. And I have a website too that I could share the. I don't know if I can share the link here or how that would work
Yeah,
specifically,
you can
but
send me the link and then I'll post it with this video.
okay. Yeah, it's kind of it's like an odd website that has like a lot of forward slashes and hyphens. So, I want to say, oh, dating and relationship with hyphen slash question mark, it has all those. So I just like to share the link, then people can just link into it. So, if you feel that there's something that I could help with in your relationship, whatever you're dealing with in your partnership, if you're having any kind of issues that you'd like to talk about, we could have a great, empowering conversation about it. And I'd love to do that. That'd be great.
Awesome, that's
It's what I live.
awesome.
It's what I live for.
That's great. That's great. And how long have you been doing this, Robert?
Well, I've studied. I was actually previously. Uh, I went and got certified for hypnotherapy. That was my original modality. I was going to be a hypnotherapist, and I thought, the subconscious mind is where all the problems are. So if I can figure out,
Yeah.
really, it was like I wanted to figure out how I could quit doing the same things over and over and over, because I kept doing the same stuff over and over and over. I'm like, why am I doing this? Something's wrong with me.
Mm,
I thought there was something wrong with me, that I kept making the same mistakes over and over and over. So I decided, well, I'm going to get certified for hypnotherapy, and that's going to be the answer to everything in the world. So I went and did that, and I found out a really powerful truth, that everybody in the world is doing the same thing over and over and over. We all are doing that. We're no different. We all have patterns, and we all follow a certain pattern, and it's just learning how to break that pattern. So I'm no different. I found out that I'm just human, that there's nothing wrong with me. So that was a really powerful truth, because I thought, man, there's something wrong with me that I keep
yeah.
screwing stuff up.
Yeah.
And so anyway, it's been about my journey has been about, for the last 5 years, really studying deeply the human mind and heart and soul, and just how we connect with one another. And so it's been about a journey of around five years. So it's been really powerful. But I found one thing about the hypnotherapy is, when you go to a hypnotherapist, they're doing something to you. you're not consciously making that change yourself.
Okay.
So, real change that is constant and continuous and fulfilling comes from a decision we
Mm,
make within.
mm,
So, I changed my mode because I didn't feel that it was really that it went along with my values,
uh-huh.
because I don't want to do things to anybody. I want to help people find their own truth.
That's
That's
mm,
my job, is to help lead people to their own truths, not to my truth, because my truth isn't your truth. We're different.
I understand exactly what you're saying because that's how I feel, and I've just started on this journey, and you've got 5 years ahead of me, so that's quite impressive. I want to thank you, Robert, for taking this time out to join me today on this afternoon for this uh, live video. And what I want to say to you is I thoroughly enjoy your perspective on the questions that you ask on your page. And just to give an example, one of the posts I saw was where the focus goes, the energy grows. In the thought of growing the great parts of your loved one, what positive traits do you possess that you can, what positive traits do they possess that you can focus on? And there is such a unique way of looking at things because sometimes in life, if somebody doesn't point something out to you, you don't realize that you've been looking at it in the wrong way.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the focus is so powerful because whatever we focus on, we get. And I was raised as, when you make a mistake, that's when the attention comes. I made a mistake when I was a kid. The attention came right away. Like, you
Yes,
did this wrong. You did this wrong.
yes,
If I was doing things right, I didn't get any attention and no
mm-hmm,
focus. So I learned to focus on the mistakes. um, and what I'm shifting, and it's a challenging thing because it's like my whole life that was the way that I was trained and conditioned to see life. But what I find is whatever we focus on, it grows. So I'm learning to see that in my loved ones. And my wife, she's so determined. She's so caring. She's so concerned about the family. And when she would get concerned and like worried, and then I'd be upset because she
yes,
would get worried. I'm like, there's nothing to worry about. Like, I'm a man, I don't worry about. She's like, you never worry about anything. That upset her because she felt like I was never worried, because I didn't appreciate the fact that she cared so much for us. And now I've switched that to say, honey, I love it that you care so much about us, that you're concerned for our well-being, because that's what's really happening. It's not, I was taking that personally and felt
mm-hmm,
that you know she was just upset, and I was like focused on the fact that she's upset, not focused on the fact that she's concerned for our well-being. So I've switched the focus to her concern and her love for us, and I appreciate that part of her. And so I lift her up in that moment and say, honey, I really appreciate this about you. Not, honey, why are you so mad? This is don't be mad around me. So
mm-hmm,
that has changed the energy, and it's changed the focus to what's good about it and not what's bad about it. Because if I focus on what I feel is wrong, I'm going to get more of what's wrong.
yes,
And that's one of the most important parts in any relationship, is focus on the things that our partners and our loved ones do right more than what we focus on what we think they're doing wrong. Because appreciate what they do wrong, because it has a greater intent. That part of them has a higher intent, that is trying to reach peace,
mm-hmm,
and it's looking for connection, it's looking for love, it's looking for validation.
mm-hmm,
Every behavior and thought and feeling we have wants those things, it's looking for those things. So knowing that our loved ones, when they're stressed, they're agitated, they're anxious, they just want love, they just want connection, they just want validation. And being able to see that for what it really is underneath that, which is a very amazing thing
mm-hmm.
that they're looking for, and to be able to see them for that amazing thing that's underneath all of that, then I can see to that and speak to that part of them and say, wow, you really see that you want oh, you're great, I love you, sometimes people just need to be told that, reassured. Sometimes they just want to be forgiven, like people who procrastinate a lot. Sometimes they just want people to say, hey, I forgive you. You can be late. I love you either way.
Yeah.
You know, it's fine. You know, they just need that love and affection. And sometimes it's hard to give if we're not giving it to ourselves first. So,
Absolutely true. Absolutely true. I've got so much to learn, and I'm so glad that I've met you, Robert. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope that we have another
thank
chat
you.
again soon.
Me
Thank you,
too. Thank you so
everyone.
much for inviting me. Thank you.